Today, we're gonna get some juicy stuff, like I said. Juicy stuff. So, I not the kind of person who chases trends normally, but oh my god, this is some juicy stuff. I just have to get my thoughts. I need to talk about it. I really, really need to talk about it. And I feel okay. So at the beginning of the stream, you all heard that theme song. It's called Inferno by Mick Gordon. It's the theme used for the character Sinder from Killer Instinct. Stephanie, there you go. There's your reference. And I think it's appropriate because the VTuber we're going to talk about today is Sinder. Yeah, you all know about the Sinder situation. So do I. I barely just found out about it. I've been following it for the past few days, and oh boy. Oh, the Sinder drop. I never heard of it. We're gonna hear about it. You're gonna hear about it now. All right. Okay, perfect. I think we got it. I think we finally got it. Okay, so this particular video, I found was made yesterday. At this time. This is from a Roach-chan, a fellow cockroach VTuber, similar to that, Marta Janetti. Matara, thank you, there we go. Okay, so basically like Matara, this is also, thank you, Zeffy. Okay, like Matara, this is another Roach VTuber who made this video yesterday. Now, originally I bookmarked the Twitter messages so I could read them myself. Not really. So, anyways, I originally bookmarked the Twitter messages so I could read them myself, so I can show it to you guys right here. But I figured it's better if I show this. Okay, so context. I don't know much about the Cinder situation myself, but here's what I do know. Okay, Bao was the first I heard it from, and Nano, whatever the fuck Nano is. But I do know who Bao is. Marty McFly. But Cinder did make a quick statement saying that she was going to address it later on. She did. She made her own Google Doc after Bao made her own Google Doc. And after she released her so-called apology, Shylily responded. Yes, Shylily responded not only through a Twitter message, but also through a video of her own, which we will be looking at after this video. We're gonna be looking at Shylily's response through her own words and her own voice. Cinder is fucked. Well, I'm about to find out how fucked she is. Now, personally, I don't know much about Cinder. I know of her existence. I've seen some of her stuff, but not enough to know who the hell she is. But my God, what I heard so far, it's not looking good. So through Roach-chan, we're gonna go to the situation now. According to what is on the video description, if I may look at it again once more, she does cover Cinder's apology. She covers Bao's Google Doc, and she covers all these other people who address the situation apparently, including Camilla. Oh my God, Camilla's in there. Shylily responded to it. She's gonna address it here. So we're gonna go through it all. We're gonna go through it all through this one video, okay? There's one video. And after this, like I said, Shylily addressed it herself on one of her streams. I have that video saved, and we're gonna look at that. We're going to look at that as well. Okay?
There's nothing I can say to make this better, but I will try my best to properly convey my feelings, frustrations, and mistakes. Redacted has been my co-content creator since I began making content, managing all aspects of what I do and being a major part of why I'm here. We have also been in a relationship since the start of my endeavors. It's no secret that many VTubers choose to keep their public and personal lives separate, and I'm no different. As of yesterday, he is no longer working with me, and I've not extensively discussed any of this with him. Alright, Where our personal situation goes from here will be figured out between us privately. After years of working on everything together, his hyper-business-oriented outlook warped my view of what it is I should be doing. I have a terrible work-life balance as it is, and being around projects and stream all day every day made me lose sight of the point. It took all of this happening for me to realize this behavior isn't normal or healthy, and it's not an outlook I want to have. This doesn't absolve me of the things I've willingly done wrong and went along with, or the way I've treated people who were fully undeserving.
Uh, pretty fucking vague. By the way, who the fuck's redacted? Okay, she just mentioned that's her boyfriend or whatever, or husband or whatever the fuck he is, but romantic partner. We're just gonna say romantic partner. Um, according to what I heard so far in this one paragraph we just read, what the fuck she's talking about? It's all vague. What did she do? Sinder, if you want to make a proper apology, you gotta explain what the fuck you did, girl. And all you said was, redacted as your boyfriend and no longer working with me. Okay. Some dual relationship going on. That's gonna cause some issues with the marital problems. So we're not off to a good start, homegirl. Not off to a good start. Okay, let's keep reading. After Roach gives her opinions, because it looks like she was about to.
I'm gonna point out the elephant in the room. I'm sorry. Your boyfriend is your manager. If he's your boyfriend, he has a vested interest in your success. He's gonna keep helping you. Or Red could be over your shoulder right now helping you word an apology to win the public back over. What this all boils down to, is people taking your word for it that you had no idea, what was going on. In regards...
Okay, so Roach Chan just confirmed it. Redacted is Cinder's boyfriend. Slash manager. That is not good. That is not good. Okay, because if you're dating your manager, oh boy, things are gonna get heated real quick. Oh boy, things are gonna get reheated real quick. Nah. Okay. Well, when I was in school, I learned about dual relationships. Do not do dual relationships, okay? If you're gonna match someone, don't date them. If you're gonna date them, don't match them, because then that's double the trouble, double the drama, okay? Fun fact: many marriages don't last when the couple works together at the same job. Let that sink in for a second. Okay, Rochan, carry on.
To Nanolist for the majority of the time working what was going on. In regards to Nanolist for the majority of the time working with her, Red was the one almost solely doing the communication about new plans and negotiations through his private DMs. We had come to the conclusion that it'd be in my best interest to talk with Nano about making more time for my projects by negotiating with her to cut out other work. You still wouldn't pay her a retainer though. This was wrong for us to push onto her. Us! You were aware!
Wait, what? Hold on, what?
Negotiating with her to cut out other work. You still wouldn't pay her a retainer though. This was wrong for us to push onto her. Us! You were aware!
Okay, still don't know what's going on, but when she said us, yeah, it heavily implies that she was involved in whatever drama she's in.
Regarding the exclusivity deal made between them, I had no part in the direction negotiations of their eventual agreement.
Okay, she's obviously skipping a lot of detail here, but you can all read it here. You can all read the entire paragraph if you guys want. So if you want, you can pause here. I know if you're watching me live, of course you can't pause it, but if you're watching me in the future, you can pause it. So yeah, feel free to read all this. To me, it's TLDR. I'm sorry. Anyways.
You were aware! Regarding the exclusivity deal made between them, I had no part in the direction negotiations of their eventual agreement, and I had no knowledge of Bao and Cotton being included in this list. If I had known my friends were included, I would have said something to put a stop to it. No, he would never vent to you about, like, the problems talking with Nana or anything. No, that's just not how relationships work, you know? When Nano had messaged about this agreement almost a month later, I was under the assumption this was only about Silvervale.
Wait, Silvervale's involved too? Oh my god! How many more are in this? Jeez! Silvervale too. How many flies have you caught in your web of lies, woman? Yes. Well said, Sephi. Well said. And I will openly admit, this is way too much for me to read, so I'm glad I'm watching this video. She's basically giving the highlights. If I am missing any details, though, you can see the whole paragraph right there, so yeah. Feel free to call me out in the comments below.
Upset at my initial messages to her were very guilt-trippy. I had no idea there was even a conversation about Shylily recently between Red and Nano until reading our document. I was never even aware Nano was ever planning to work on a model for one of my friends, Geary. Yes, Red and I were initially upset when Bao hired my editor, and I took it personally when I shouldn't have. So why do you admit in this document that it upset you, but then you say I would never do anything like that? When you quite literally did it to Silver. And yeah.
Okay, let me get this straight. Let's see if I got this. Okay, let's see if I got this. So, um, Bao got help from Cinder's editor and got upset, and I'm assuming Silvervale also got help from Cinder's editor, and she was okay with it. Am I correct to assume that there's some double standards here? Is that what's going on? I'm sorry, guys. I'm really trying hard to understand this.
Yes, I was also upset when Sack, the Boss Rush MV editor, had told us that he won't be working on any future projects with us and would instead be working exclusively for Bao. But Red got it in his head that it was.
Hold on, let me go back. Let me go back.
The editor had told us that he won't be working on any future projects with us and would instead be working exclusively for Bao.
Okay, I understand that. So your editor quit on you to work with Bao. Okay, moving on.
But Red got it in his head that it was Bao's fault that it happened and seemingly held a grudge against her for it. No, you both got it in your heads. I don't believe it for a second that you two never discussed this. You never sat down at a dinner table and were like, damn, I had a really rough day talking to Nano about Bao. Like, you really think that doesn't happen? But
I believe Roach on this one. I do believe what Roach is saying because you guys gotta think about it. These two are dating, possibly even living with each other, and he doubles as her manager. So of course, he would keep her on the loop. Okay, of course he would keep her in the loop. Okay, that would only make sense. So therefore, yes, I believe what Roach is saying. There is no freaking way Cinder was not aware. All right. In fact, earlier she said us. Okay, I'm gonna stick on that. I'm gonna stick to that one like glue. I'm gonna stick to that one like flies on a wall on fly paper. Okay.
he told me without an MV editor as Nano about Bao. Like, you really think that doesn't happen? But he told me without an MV editor as talented as Sack, the future projects wouldn't reach the same heights, so he created this headcanon that's laid out in those DMs. I wasn't convinced this was the case, but it's my fault for never speaking with Bao about these things directly to clear things up and letting it spiral to the point it got to. I wasn't convinced this was the case, but I let him go ahead and paint that headcanon in his DMs with Nano that I definitely didn't have any knowledge of, chat.
See, this is why. Okay, this is why communication and transparency is very, very important. Okay. Okay, so when I got demodded from the other server, I was really upset. Okay, not because I was demodded, but because there was no transparency, no communication, and no prior knowledge as to what was going on. Okay, now, when I did eventually speak to my friend about why I was demodded, she explained it to me, and her reasons were very fair. Okay, they were very fair. All right. So I do not hold it against her for making her decision because at the end of the day, she put her community first, and you gotta respect her for that. Okay, she put her community first. Which is said that there was no communication beforehand. You know that's the only thing I was upset about. But like I said, we talked it out. She did give me her reasons, and I respect her for making her decision because she had valid reasons. Okay. And see, that's how you do it. That's how you fucking do it. You talk things out and you communicate with them. Okay, you just don't you just do not out of the blue demod someone, pick someone out of the server, or even straight up block them without first letting them know. Okay, I get it. You don't have to tell them why you block them. Okay, you don't have to. But it's a courtesy, for God's sakes. Have some fucking courtesy, people. But you know what? We're living in an age where humans are getting dumber. So why am I surprised? Moving on.
It's just business. Screenshot of my DMs with Nano's document was from November of 2023. And what Red was trying to explain to Nano is that if everyone has a model by her, then the innate value of her models overall are diminished by there being an oversaturation of that type of model out there.
Wait, hold on. What? Roach, could you repeat that?
Everyone has a model by her. What Red was trying to explain to Nano is that if everyone has a model by her, then the innate value of her models overall are diminished by there being an oversaturation of that type of model out there.
Okay, so let me get this straight. If too many people are using a particular model, she fears that she will not be standing out. Ah, my God, girl, that's a stupid ass reason. People know you by name. You can you can have a completely different model as long as you keep the name. People will know it's you. Damn it.
I understand where he is coming from with this. I don't. Sorry. But in the VTuber space, this isn't something we should have pursued. Me saying it's just business was referring to my acceptance of Nano's business decisions, whether she chose to work with me or not. This was not in reference to anyone's motto being cancelled, further explaining to her that it's okay if she chooses not to work with me. I can understand where the next part can sound manipulative, but my intention was to reminisce about the journey we had together up to this point. Since at this time, I wasn't sure if this is where Nano and I would start working together as frequently as we had been. Yeah, because you didn't do an exclusivity deal and then you wanted her to blacklist people.
Dumbass. Anyway. Unless they're a corporal VTuber. And you know what? That's what Sinder sounds like, you know. That's what she sounds like. She sounds very corporal right now. Especially with the it's just business line. A certain VTuber told me that same thing. Not those exact words, but by calling me just a supporter really got under my skin, you know? Because for God's sakes, we're friends once. But the fact that you only keep around because I was a supporter, that's corporal talk right there. That is corporal talk to me. So she might as well she might as well end her statement with nothing personal, just business. Kind of bullshit, you know? Corporal VTuber then generally own your VTuber identity. I know, right? And that's what Cinder's trying to do. That's what it sounds like she's trying to do. But regardless, that's what's coming off of me. You know, that's the vibe I'm getting here. That's the vibe I'm getting.
When talking about Silvervale, I need to start at the beginning. Before I was Cinder, I was a pink cherry blossom girl named Tashi that did ASMR content. When the VTuber boom happened in 2020, I knew I wanted to join in. Red and I contacted an artist in October, and they were set to start my VTuber design by December. The plan was to take my cherry blossom persona Tashi and make her a pink and white wolf girl VTuber. In November of that same year, Silvervale revealed her Sakura wolf design. I had heard of Silvervale earlier that year, but I didn't watch her streams at all. We knew we had to pivot before we stuck with a design that would just be a copy of one of the most popular VTubers at the time. Since I started streaming, I've been ruthlessly compared to Silvervale, being called the discount version of her. I don't know how to say this really nicely. Stop reading comments. People say stupid shit online. Don't let it get to you.
Got a point. You've got a point. Haters gonna hate. People are gonna comment. If they're gonna criticize you, take the criticism. Damn it. If they're gonna hate, embrace the hate. Like a wrestling heel, you know. Hell, I've been criticized myself. You know, people have told me that the way I deal with trolls on my channel is not the best way to handle it. But you know what? I trust my moderators, and you know what? We usually humiliate them before we get rid of them. You know. And people tell me, no, just ban them on the spot. But you know what? I give people the benefit of the doubt. You know, I give them a chance to calm the fuck down. And if they don't want to calm the fuck down, that's when we drop the ban hammer on them. Okay, simple as that. Take the hairs and yeet them over the mountain. Yup. Take the haters and hit them with a fucking Kaneko Buster. No, wait, actually, I'm an Undertaker fan. Tombstone Power Driver, them bitches. But yeah, it sounds like Cinder was listening to the comments too much. And you know what? When you're trying to get into content creation, that's like an amateur mistake you do, okay? When you read too deep into the comments and you let them affect you, you know? In some ways, you should let them affect you. Like, if they're genuinely criticizing you, you should take those criticisms. Take it to heart, you know? People criticize you because they genuinely care about you, okay? They want you to do better. They want you to be better. If they're criticizing you over something you did or said, they're calling you out because they don't want you to pull that shit, you know? They want you to calm the fuck down and rearrange your priorities, you know? But then, of course, you got those haters that come in every once in a while that all they do is insult you, and every once in a while, even say fucked up shit about you, you know? Just to bring you down. Just bring you down to their level. Well, that's what the ban hammer is for. That's what the fucking ban hammer is for. Shit. And trust me, my homegirl Zeppi, who's in the chat right now, she loves swinging that hammer. So don't test her. Don't test her.
Grew more and more resentful of Silver over time between the constant belittling of myself, a controversy around my first waifu cup. You need to stop reading comments like that. People are stupid. It was also the fact that made me insecure. Like, I wanted to know if she believed all of these things or not. It really felt as if she didn't like that I even existed in the same space. So at the point I was working with Nano consistently, we brought up not making any more models for her. If a VTuber model is how everyone recognizes you, then it'd be harder to compare us directly if we no longer look alike or have shared similarity. So you thought it was okay to take away her opportunity to have a model with Nano. Buff Pup also has a very rocky, like metally type of design too. Are you saying that Buff Pup as well, like somehow has like the same thing going on? Silver was completely
I don't know what Pup is, to be honest, but there, consider the amount of VTubers we have right now. We're talking thousands of VTubers right now. Models are going to look similar. In fact, sometimes models look exactly the same. Hell, I knew at least 2 pairs of VTubers. They use the exact same model because they're free to use. They're free assets, so of course they're going to. As I was saying, I know 2 pairs of VTubers that use the exact same model. Someone whose model has a nearly identical design to the main model, and she had been streaming longer than me. Yeah, see, it's bound to happen. It's bound to happen. I mean, look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Is this model I'm using? Even my friend my friend made me this model as a gift, and she used whatever assets have to be available in V-Roy Studio. And oh, by the way, I have amazing news, everybody. Me and her made up. We're besties again. Yay! Anyways, but yeah, my form was created using those free assets. Okay, so even though looking like this was what made me recognizable, especially since I've been doing this for nearly a year now, no doubt there's another VTuber out there who's wearing this exact same outfit. Maybe not the exact same hairstyle. Maybe not the same femboy eyelashes. Even though I'm not a femboy, they're no doubt wearing the same outfit. So I haven't ran into him yet. I know he exists. Okay, I know he exists. And if should I find him, I'm not gonna bash on him. I'm not gonna say, "Hey, you stole my identity." No, anybody can use it. It's bound to happen, Yeah. I don't want to risk the truth.
Silence! I kill you!
well, like somehow has like the same thing going on. Silver was completely undeserving of this treatment, and it is what my own insecurities that led me to making this choice. I became unapologetically evil towards her due to no direct action of her own. There's no excuse for any of this. Moving on from Silvervale, let me talk about spite. Once again, I had no involvement or knowledge of Red bringing up spite to Nano in 2023. My only personal involvement with excluding someone specific from working with Nano was Silver. My design sheet and outfit were finished and made public at the very start of 2021. The first thing she mentions is a debut teaser in 2022 that was apparently posted the same day as her original debut, which I honestly don't know if it at the time was intentional or not. When I first debuted, I was very possessive of my design details. I have made it a year and a half since my design sheet was finished and public to having a full VTuber debut as I watched everything grow and change from the sidelines. And I didn't want anyone else to capitalize on my concept before I could. You spent the entirety of the last paragraph how insecure you were being compared to a VTuber that doesn't look or sound anything like you, so now you want me to believe you had no concerns about a VTuber who actually does look similar to you, except she actually had receipts for doing all her designs before you. Soon after my original debut,
Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Yeah. The more I listen to this, the more corpo Sinder is becoming. God damn! God damn! Jeez. She's just digging herself deeper, and also, telling that story. What does any of that have to do with the current situation? If you ask me, that's all diversion. Okay, that is all diversion. Okay.
I remember Spike getting an update to her model that made it seem like she more closely resembled me, including fire added to her model. Without evidence, I saw it and thought she must have copied me, but I never did anything about it other than voice my frustrations to Red. Keyword, I voiced my frustrations to Red, who then also got mad and brought it up to Nano. See?
Remind me, Red is short for redacted, right? Her boyfriend? Because I see Red, and that's the first thing that comes to my mind.
to Red, who then also got mad and brought it up to Nano. So you do talk to each other when you have an issue with a VTuber. Unfortunately, both my Angel and Sleepy outfits being similar to outfits Spite has done in the past was just a coincidence. Spite never should have received the hate comments over her outfit or any comments comparing us or belittling her because of my existence, and I never advocated for anyone to do so, especially given my experience. Spite also brought up another creator who reached out about her experience with me, and I can only assume it's Nyantails. Oh, they are an ASMR artist who at one point posted a Hellhound OC for their upcoming ASMR videos, undoubtedly created using me as a reference. How do you know that? Undoubtedly created using me as a reference! What do you mean?
That's Spite? Is that Spite? Is that the one we're talking? No, that's Ninetales. I see. I see what they did there. Ninetales, like Ninetales, like Pokemon. Okay. Hold on, let me go back.
For their upcoming ASMR videos, undoubtedly created using me as a reference. How do you know that? Undoubtedly created using me as a reference. What do you mean?
I know what Cinder looks like, and that looks nothing like Cinder at all. So I don't know what the fuck Cinder's talking about in that regard. Seriously, what is your problem? What's your fucking problem, Cinder? Do you guys see similarities? Do you guys see similarities? Because I don't. I do not see any similarities between her and Cinder at all. So it sounds to me like Cinder is not only insecure, but she's also paranoid.
At the very start of my online career, I was a girlfriend experienced ASMR artist. Before I started my channel, I had gotten into listening to roleplay audios myself. I had always been a shut-in throughout high school and college, and I wasn't happy with where my life and my relationship were at the time. I have never had many IRL friends and had met Brainy doing ASMR. I quickly became comfortable chatting with him about everything, divulging my grievances about my personal life when I shouldn't have. I cheated on my boyfriend Rainy in these conversations, flirting and sexting. I used Rainy for emotional comfort and sexual fantasy while I let my real life relationship collapse. But you're still with him. Not the NTR portion, chat. This is actual NTR. It was my dissatisfaction with my personal life and escaping into messages with someone else who I found through content focused around girlfriend and boyfriend roleplay. It was never about climbing the ladder with Rainy, and I found that being his takeaway from why I moved on was baffling. By the time I was ready to debut as Sinder, I wanted to leave that in the past. Still to this day, I regret my decisions. I've been living with it since, and I was lucky to be able to mend my relationship after this.
Did I hear that right? Did I hear that right? Cinder, you fucked up before the situation even happened. Oh my god, never do that. Never do the whole girlfriend-boyfriend experience, because it's true, that'll get you a lot of views, that'll get you a lot of followers, but not the kind of attention you want, okay? You're just gonna end up getting a whole bunch of simps on you, okay? People, like a whole bunch of parasocial fucks who are gonna come in and be like, and thinking that they have a shot with you, only for their hopes to be dashed once they realize that you're already spoken for. Oh boy, that's gonna cause a lot of hate. You know, there was a content creator who had her car set on fire by a parasocial fuck who found out that she was spoken for. Yeah, I can get that dangerous, so never do that. Okay?
Okay, this is a really big one. Peaches is the one that outed her for having a boyfriend because she knew her back in 2020. And lastly, I want to address Peaches. This is a very big problem I
Peaches. I'm sorry, I had to. I had to.
back in 2020. And lastly, I want to address Peaches. This is a very big problem I have, and I'm sure many others in my position do too. At the end of the day, I am one person. I am one person working on multiple projects with multiple companies, talking to dozens of people, and streaming for hours almost every day. You're not one person, you're two people. She said, I am the person that does the streaming, my boyfriend does all the freaking business. Red has always been a big help in keeping up with things, but he doesn't do everything. I'm so sorry I made you feel forgotten, Peaches. I've always cherished your friendship, and I was incredibly excited to meet you in Paris. I'm so grateful for everything you've done for me, and I've never thought to purposefully drop you just because I could. I'm sorry. I know I've made a lot of people feel forgotten and ignored. It's so easy to get caught up in projects or what I'm doing. While I have the energy to do it, that people fall by the wayside. I understand the feelings of those who resent me over this, and all I can say is I'm sorry. Chat, Red doesn't do everything for me, but he did do all the things that hurt my friends and not me. No, I had no idea. To Nano.
So, Peaches was the one who outed the boyfriend thing. And considering that she was doing the whole girlfriend experience, oh boy, that probably did not sit well with the simps. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Goddamn, it is not looking good for her. But you know what? As I said, as I said, she tried to no doubt keep her private life secret. She didn't want anybody to know she was dating so in order to keep the parasocial fucks on her follower list. But no doubt there was a lot of outrage when they found out she was already spoken for. No doubt that a lot of them were angry. But you know what? You know something? That's the risk you take when you give everybody false hope like that, okay? That is never okay. That is never okay. So just don't do it, damn it!
No, I'm sorry I let everything get to this point or entertain the thought of you working with me exclusively. That's not fair to you. I wouldn't be here without you. I wouldn't have been able to do what most of what I've already done without you. Can I reiterate that Nano said that they didn't want to pay her an exclusivity fee and that she should just cut people out no matter what? I felt overly attached to our relationship over the last 4 years, and I loved working so much that I wanted to make myself exclusive to your art. And I should never sought those feelings to be reciprocated. Everything you've worked on me for was always perfect and I lost sight of everyone else around me have felt. I had no intention of pressuring you into anything, but looking back on my cloud of judgment, I can see how my messages felt that way. When I talked about how my models helped you improve, I meant that looking back on how far we've come together. That's also not true. I saw screenshots of them saying, oh, well, without... When I talked about how my models helped you improve, I meant that looking back on how far we've come together. That's also not true. I saw screenshots of them saying, oh, well, without us having you learn how to cut the rigs and learn how to make art better, you wouldn't have come this far without us. Also, I'm pretty sure it was Red that read that message, or wrote that message. It wasn't Sinder. So is this Red or Sinder talking? I never saw you as just a business partner. I thought I was reassuring you. I'd always be understanding. Blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry what I put you through.
Sounds like she was seeing him just as a business partner, considering everything that's been going on, or as far as my understanding, yeah. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. That's some juicy stuff, people. That's some juicy stuff. But you know, it's funny that Roach is reading reading the apology before Bao's Google Doc, because Bao released her Google Doc before Cinder did her apology. So the only thing I don't get so far is who outed her. Who outed her? Because you know what? I took the time to look at the Google Docs before coming into this, both Bao's and Nano's. I only skimmed through it too. I only skimmed through it. So Cinder had a chance to see all the evidence against her before she's doing this apology. So you know she has to keep that in mind. At least I hope she kept that in mind.
Bao. This is a big one. Red literally said that Bao's songs are a flop and that Cinder's better. To Bao, since the start, I've always admired and how genuine you've always been to everyone. I wouldn't be here without you either. I'm disgusted myself for buying into the narrative that my friends were competition. I've never had such genuine friendships in my life, especially with you. We've gotten to know each other so well and in person. You've already been through so much, and the last thing I wanted to do is cause you more harm, but I did. I'm sorry for not reaching out sooner about these ideas that were put into my head. I wish we would have been able to talk about this too. I didn't know about the severity of things that have been said and theorized about my own friends behind my back until now. It's my fault for not realizing the things Red was saying about you. The countless friendships I've made here within the last several years mean so much more to me than him and the business side of things. Throwing him under the bus again. I can't stress enough about how disappointed I am that I didn't see this sooner, until I got to a breaking point. I'm sorry, Bao. She got Silvervale's bottle canceled on her birthday. Yes, I know. It's so sad. I love Silver. That breaks my heart. And I remember seeing the Bao model too, like the teaser of it, and I felt so bad. It's a sack. This is the...
Alright, so let me go back a bit. It does seem like it, though. It does seem like she's throwing Red under the bus on this one. Wow. Throwing your own boyfriend under the bus. But all I can say is that, you know, The fact of the matter is, when you're in this business, you shouldn't see people as competition. Okay, we need to help each other. And you know what? That's why I don't like corporate VTubers, because when you get really, really big, um, especially if you're part of the agency, most of the time you're just gonna work with people within the agency, and not really outside of it. Which one of the things I respect V Shoujo for, because they allow their talents to work with people outside of the agency, whereas Hololive, I have not seen them work with people outside the agency very often. You know, um, and the fact of the matter is, it's rare. It's incredibly rare, at least in my opinion, for big VTubers to support smaller VTubers. Okay, hey Walnut, it's incredibly rare. Okay, whenever the last time a big VTuber, and I mean, the last time a big VTuber actually rated me, I broke down in tears because I was so shocked that someone like her would go out of her way for me, um, to support me and to like trust me with her community. And she proved me wrong that day. She did prove me wrong that not all big VTubers will ignore smaller VTubers. Okay, but even then, it's still incredibly rare. Still incredibly rare for a big VTuber to rate a smaller VTuber or to endorse them in any way. All right. Um. Hell, Iron Mouse did that once, but she did it as a Make a Wish thing, to help a small VTuber who was part of the Make a Wish program. Hopefully, I need to look into her that particular VTuber to see if she's doing okay still. But my point is, um, 9 times out of 10, you'll never see a big VTuber endorse a small VTuber, and instead they'll only endorse like people within their level, within their within their peak. If I'm making sense here, like bigger VTubers only collaborate with bigger VTubers. Okay, they only collaborate within their agency if they're a part of one. Um, and that tells me that when you get like really up there, when they get really up there, they start seeing everybody else in competition, and and they keep us down. Okay, they bring us down. They want to stay low because they don't want us to be at their level. All right, you get the gist. Thank you, Walnut. But you all get what I mean, okay? And you know what, Sinder over here, as she said, she did see her so-called friends at competition, and that is not a good way to look at it. I mean, um, I guess when you're that big, you do start to see everyone as competition. So, as far as I can tell, Cinder acted out of insecurity, acted impulsively, and acted out of paranoia. So, this girl, she was digging her own grave from the start.
A breaking point. I'm sorry, Val. She got Silvervale's bottle canceled on her birthday? Yes, I know. It's so sad. I love Silver. That breaks my heart. And I remember seeing the Bow model too, like the teaser of it, and I felt so bad. It's a sack. This is the video editor. I love getting to chat with you in person and absolutely loved all the hard work you put into the Boss Rush song! I was so grateful to hear you were on board to edit the music video. I don't remember exactly why the stream got pushed back, but I definitely wouldn't have put the blame on you, knowing about how soon the deadline was when you started working on it. I was so thankful for your willingness to complete the project despite everything, and the quality of how it turned out was incredible. I can't believe how Red talked about you, especially after all the effort you put in for me. I'm so sorry for everything that's happened. To Cotton and Lily, I'm so sorry.
Hold on, what? Let's go. Let's go back a bit.
It's a sack. This is the stream got pushed back, but I definitely wouldn't have put the blame on you, knowing about how soon the deadline was when you started working on it. I was so thankful for your willingness to complete the project despite everything, and the quality of how it turned out was incredible. I can't believe how Red talked about you, especially after all the effort you put in for me. I'm so sorry for everything that's happened.
Okay. So the Greek tragedy plot. Yep. Um. Okay, okay. So her apology to Zach just feels that was really vague. I mean, what exactly is she apologizing for? What did she do to the guy? It doesn't feel like she's taking accountability. I mean, she's just saying I'm sorry for everything, Story for what? What the fuck did you do? See, part of taking accountability is admitting that you fucked up, admitting what you did was wrong, and part of that is basically saying exactly what you did. Um, you know, in the past year, yeah, I'm getting a little. I've gotten a little personal throughout this for a bit, but like I said, I can give a few personal accounts here. So, in the near year, in the past 10 months now. Hold on, we're in April right now. 10 months, and the past 10 months that I've been doing this, I've only ever done 2 apology videos. Two. Um, and in both cases, I straight up said what I did wrong. I straight up said where how I fucked up. I know what they and in those 2 cases, yeah, I was very open and transparent with my actions, and I took accountability for it. I apologized and then moved on. Okay, so I didn't just say, "Hey," I didn't just say, I'm sorry for what I've done. Let's move on." No, 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 no. I went into detail about my actions. Okay, so that's how you do it. Okay, that's how you do it.
To Cotton and Lily, I'm so sorry you had to get dragged into this. It's my fault I let it get this far, but I hope you can believe me when I say I had no knowledge of Red bringing you up in Nano's DMs. I just learned about this all myself, and there could have been so many other friends affected by this narrative that things always had to be competitive. If I knew Red was trying to exclude specific friends in this exclusivity deal, I would have spoken up. None of my friendships are worth sacrificing over an art piece. Except when that art piece makes you more money. I loved being your friend and all the memories we've shared, and I hope someday you can forgive me for allowing this to happen.
Like Roach said, money talks, especially when you're big. Hmm.
To Silver. Since the start, I love that I saw someone else sharing so many similar interests to me, and I thought maybe someday we could talk about it and be good friends. I was blinded by all those hate comments around me calling your lesser half. I hate the person I've become towards you. I tried reaching out some time ago to try and start up a friendly conversation to change things and make things right, say hi to you at conventions, and support your endeavors. But despite all that, I was still being eaten alive by my own doubts and fear or harassment. I was pressured by the community as a whole to try reaching out to collaborate since I got those messages so often comparing us, and I hoped we could work something out. I'm so sorry for any opportunities I've taken away from you. I'm sorry, Silver. Yo, Cinder, you need to stop reading 4chan. I'm sorry I had assumed things about your design, Spite. That.
Oh, she skipped the rest of the paragraph, but yeah. As Roach pointed out multiple times, Cinder let the comments get to her. She let all the criticisms get to her. Not good. That's gonna fuck up your mentality. So, it's gonna happen. Okay, you're gonna get all kinds of comments. You have to quit feeding the troll here. Okay, you can't let that affect you. Okay. I mean, yeah, it's understandable. When it's constantly happening, it can really weigh you down. But here's the thing about weights. Okay, you keep lifting, you keep pumping, you get stronger. Okay, but the thing is, Cinder, you refuse to rekindle the fire every time people throw water at it. And you know what the word Cinder means? It's for fire. Cinder means fire, for God's sakes. That's why the Killer Instinct character is made of fucking fire.
Chan. I'm sorry I had assumed things about your design, Spite, that weren't true, and I'm sorry you've been harassed by commenters and you need to compare us, and apologize for the way Red spoke to you about, Red!
Roach, use your words. Use your words.
Spoke to you about, Red spoke about you to Nano. You didn't deserve any of this spite. I'm sorry. To Peaches, I'm sorry it made me seem like I was ignoring or ghosting you. I was so happy we had the opportunity to meet in person. I was apologetic with how busy things were for me at the time. I wanted to spend more time with you, but as I got more and more DMs and messages, everything became so overwhelming, and I've always had a low social battery. And then it made it so hard for me to keep up to date. Well, my friends have never had any ill feelings towards you, and I still don't. To Rainy, the fingering guy.
But seriously. Oh my god. Wow. Wow. Okay, Cinder. Wow. Just wow.
You were the first person I met as an ASMR artist. During a time where I was immature and vulnerable, I ended up being consumed by the content I was making, and it led me to making awful decisions I still think about and regret. I was not in a good spot at the time. I've hated myself for this kind of behavior, and it took a long time for me to move on from what happened. Did she ever tell her boyfriend that she cheated on him or is just finding out? We don't know, but let's just assume he already knows. I'm sorry.
Rainy's her ex, right? Is that my understanding? Moving on.
Sorry to my pyro pups and my mods for expecting me to lead by a better example.
Wait, Pyropuffs, is that what she calls her followers? Cute.
I'm sorry to my pyro pups and my mods for expecting me to lead by a better example than this. I'm sorry to the VTuber community for looking towards me as someone to aspire to. I'm sorry to Kaiser, who's put his heart and soul into everything he's ever done for me, and not talking to you about how I felt. The way I've been perceiving things lately is not how I want to view the world moving forward, and this goes to show there's a lot I need to address and improve if I'm to continue being a creator. I'm devastated that the friendships so special to me may understandably never be mended again. I love my job and I love all the friends I've had. Thank you for reading, Cinder.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, but it is you that must be strong. Well said, Walnut. And also, Cinder, I'm sorry, but your so-called apology didn't really tell me jack shit. What the fuck did you do to piss everybody off? That didn't tell me anything. All I know is that a little bit of shit talking went on between her so-called boyfriend and some other VTubers. Um, but even though she is being very, very apologetic, she's not really taking accountability. Might as well pull out the ukulele, right? Oh, the ukulele apology. That's hilarious to watch. But seriously, um, this absolutely tells me jack shit. Okay. So the only real context I got was reading some of my friends tweets who I learned the situation from, and through them I learned that Cinder pretty much like started mistreating people behind the scenes. You know, mistreating her friends, mistreating her staff, mistreating her boyfriend. That's what I heard. That's what I've been told. That she's just been mistreating everybody, and she really didn't. She really didn't mention any of that here. All she really talked about was her own insecurities. All she talked about was how unaware she was about of what the things that Red said. Supposedly, even though that's her freaking boyfriend, and they communicate all the time. So no, she was aware. She had to be. But I feel like, even though she is very apologetic, which I will give her credit for, it doesn't feel like she's taking any accountability because she has not mentioned anything that she's done, except for the parts where she acted insecure and treating her friends like competition. That's all I got after this.
I wanted to address some people's responses that were directly affected. Bao says, how can you say you didn't know? I showed you both my base model sketch from Nano at WeebCon. We walked on stage and performed together. You were in the group chat where I shared my sadness over Nano suddenly canceling my model. After we were close to begin live 2D and rigging, and to now find out that just the day before I shared my sadness, this is the conversation that happened that ruined months of debut prep, planning, merch, and preparation. If you want to apologize to me, please do it properly and stop hiding behind Red.
Even Bao calls her out by because of the whole Red thing, throwing Redacted under the bus. Wow. So according to Bao, Cinder did know about all that shit, you know? So see, that's what I'm talking about. I don't know if Roach is gonna talk about the Google Doc that Bao posted before Cinder's apology, but she did do that.
If you want to apologize to me, please do it properly and stop hiding behind red. Smoge, Nano had to drop me as a client because her work schedule is too hectic. Oh, she dropped the doc, man. She dropped the girly pop group chat. Yikes. No, I'd be heartbroken too, chat. Like, for reference, I would be devastated. And then to find out that the girl that I was trying to be friends with told my artist not to. Buff Puff says f off. I had no involvement or knowledge. As if
Oh, that's Buff Pop.
partners don't tell everything to each other. This is what I'm saying about that. Like, I brought this up too.
Yeah, that's what we're just talking about. You know, no way she didn't know.
As if partners don't tell everything to each other. This is what I'm saying about that. Like, I brought this up too. Like, as if boyfriend and girlfriend don't tell each other every single little thing. You're blaming him to save yourself.
See, there's Camilla. She weighed in on this too. Look, this Cottontail. Man, a lot of people are getting into this.
I'm so disappointed in you both. Shame on you for the pain to have caused all your friends just so you can be the best. That was disappointing to read. As creators, we're responsible for our own brand and image. We're responsible for the relationships we maintain and how we treat others. When you're calling out for your wrongdoings, it's always best to take accountability for your own actions. No excuses, no manipulation, no redirection. Thank you, Ellie. Jesus.
That's what I just said. That's what I just said. You know, the whole time Cinder has just been the whole time Cinder has been like basically throwing Red under the bus of what everything that happened, and also diverting the situation by talking about her past. Yeah, she didn't really take accountability, like at all.
Dude, mistakes, jealousy, and losing control are understandable.
Oh, Steffi, there she is.
You can grow from them, but betrayal is different. It shows you're willing to sacrifice close friends whether it's convenient, and no business should ever justify saying that. Lena says this is someone you supposedly loved and worked close with as a team for years. I can't imagine for the sake of an online image throwing someone away so effortlessly, claiming you didn't know what they were doing. And it's for 5 freaking years. There's just no way. People have falling outs, people piss each other off, people end up not clicking or having misunderstandings. I get that, but dude, you were at the top. Thank you! Comparing yourself when you were at the top! You had everything. You had a massively supportive community. A group of girls who stuck by you. You're a partial owner of a company. People would die to be there where you're at, and you actively sabotage the people closest to you as well as the creators that had nothing to do with you. I always looked up to how hard you worked and how much you kept a good head on your shoulders being where you're at, but damn, dude. We're not all perfect, and this is a clear example of being a human. We make mistakes. I just hope in time you're able to take ownership of that and not put it on someone else.
Well said. That was very well said. That was very well said. And it's just like Lena, I think that's her name. It's just like she said, you know, I mean, people would kill to be in Cinder's position. Hell, I'd kill to be in her position right now. But no. Cinder was at the top. But instead of throwing ropes to help others climb, she instead threw boulders to keep people down. And her equals, she tried to suppress them too.
Thanks. I just hope in time you're able to take ownership of that and not put it on someone else. Feeling insecure is rough and it's hard to treat people right. When that happens, I think you did the right thing by being open about your feelings. Even if not everyone will be okay with it, I hope it can help you and your friends can heal. He hasn't been talked to extensively about the situation. Oh. Yeah. Cinder, this
I don't know what that was. That was just a random Dark Souls clip.
is like me saying I have zero insight into things Zolan does on my behalf. Come on. Yeah, Victoria is married to Zolan, and he is also like her manager. Lily just dropped. Oh. Okay. Okay. Oh my.
Okay, there's Lily's response to the Cinder apology. And like I said, she did talk about her streams, and I will be looking at that clip. Stick around for that.
God! Oh my!
See, I saw this. I bookmarked it. With the intent of reading it out loud myself, but Roach has been doing a really good job here. So I feel like um, she puts it better than I do. So let's have Roach read it out.
The absolute audacity to sit here and continue to manipulate and gaslight is absolute insanity. The pain and mental torment you've caused to the ones closest and most supportive of you has been devastating, and I have never been so heartbroken and hurt so badly for my friends. You are the fakest person I've ever had the displeasure of supporting. Reading and hearing of how you've really viewed me behind my back, not just through screenshots of your man. Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm fucking sinking in my chair. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Holy shit, your man. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Damn, Roach was just dying just now. Also, your own messages while having to sit here and read through.
Reading and hearing of how you've really viewed me behind my back, not just through screenshots of your man, but also your very own messages, while having to sit here and read through this bullshit lies you spin, make me want to vomit.
Yeah, Shylily is not holding back. Holy wow. Holy wow. Let me put it in these terms. There's a Chinese legend that if a koi fish could leap over a waterfall, it would become a dragon, but Cinder's action is like blocking the waterfall. I think Sinder deserves the hammer here with the explosion of maximum setting. Damn, Zeffy. You just want to eradicate her, don't you? But yeah, Walnut, I'm gonna steal that because that's the perfect analogy. Yeah. Cinder is blocking the waterfall. She's stopping these fish from becoming dragons. And yes, I'm very familiar with that legend. I get you. But holy wow. But man, Cinder shit talking her so-called friends behind her back and those DMs leaking. Yeah, okay, now I understand. Yes, you do. Yep. Now I'm starting to understand better. Now I know where Cinder fucked up, okay? And you know what? She fucked up badly. She fucked up badly.
To claim that you didn't know a single thing and had zero awareness of what your man was up to when everyone who shared even a single moment with you knows that you basically operate as the same person, sharing every waking moment while loving to jump at the slightest opportunity to turn into your most slanderous self as soon as the opportunity was given, even when talking about your friends is sickening. Oh, she's dropping the f***ing lore right now.
Fuck. Archdemon! Haven't seen you in a while. How you been, buddy? How you been? He's just in time. This is getting really juicy. We're reading Shylily's response to the whole situation, and my god, she is dropping bombs right now. She is not holding back. I mean, we heard from other VTubers briefly, but Shylily is going all out here. She is going all out. Man. Man. God damn. You know, Cinder may be fire, but she's the one getting burned right now.
I've experienced your own actions without red in a situation where in your own screenshotted words you express a pressure to live up to what Lily is, and proceeded to throw one of your most loyal and supportive friends under the bus after months of continuous planning just because you consistently chose business over friends, never feeling bad for failing them.
Oh my god, that comment hits really close to home. Gojo, how you doing, buddy? How you doing? Oh my god, so that last statement hits really close to home, you know? Hits really close to home. That last statement, that last paragraph right there hits really close to home because so this statement right here actually hits close to home because I do know somebody who chose quote unquote business over her friends, even just dropping me as one of her friends and calling me a supporter. I talked about this earlier, showing double standards to one of her, um, showing double standards towards a community member over I'm sorry, showing double standards to an individual, basically throwing the rest of her community under the bus, showing that she's willing to put one person above everybody else when it's convenient to her, and that is just some fucked up shit right there. Okay, um, that jump is between me and her. I'm not gonna mention her name, but oh, you know what? She probably knows she probably knows it's her. You probably know who I'm talking about. But my point being, you do not. I repeat, you do not put an individual above your community. All right, and in this case, you do not drop your friends when it's convenient. Okay, because once you go corpo, you just stop seeing friends. Okay, and if it means your own personal growth, you'll be willing to throw them under the bus. All right.
They were all in the group chat, bro. Just to earn the bag and compete with me over V-Card collab that you rescheduled to be on the exact date your friend needed you to keep an important promise. You actively lied about it to them instead of blaming me for the collab. You rescheduled, adding me to the pool of excuses to save your ass when you realized you were being a bad friend. Yeah, they did reschedule the collab. I remember that. Because V-Card dropped and they were supposed to do one together since they're both the poster children for it. Why blame me for choosing to miss an obligation you agreed to on one of the most important days in that friend's career? Everything you do is out of competition through your constant need to one-up the people who are the sole reason you even have these opportunities and platforms to earn from to begin with. You're welcome, by the way!
Fuck. Damn. And she's got a point because earlier in that doc, her and Cinder's apology, she did talk about how insecure she was that Silvervale was basically not only taking her ideas, quote unquote, but also causing people to compare Cinder to her to Silvervale. Oh my god! And the fact that she let that get to her, yeah. What Shylily is saying it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. The community can't even seem to go 1 year without a major scandal, right? And in this case, it's Cinder. Like, I don't know who was the first to. I don't know who the whistleblower is, but one thing's for sure, it's all out now, and there's some juicy stuff. There's some really juicy stuff. Oh boy.
You claim that it's just business. Well, in the business world, there has to be accountability, and all you've done is try and shove it away and admit to nothing. In true narcissistic fashion, you're only feeling sorry about yourself and your own consequences in your career to try and salvage it.
That's literally what I just said. Especially right here, that statement she said, admit to nothing, because when we were going through Cinder's apology, Cinder did not take any accountability at all. And hey, Dr. Plank, how you doing? Because, like I said, I originally bookmarked the tweet so I can read it myself, but you know what? This is just better, okay? And besides, Rochan is doing a much better job reading through this than I ever could. Not especially with my speech impediment, and also the fact that I have the zoomies right now. So, yeah, tried to survive 6 months without a massive scandal. Impossible. Yep. Hey, Rain. Hey, sis. How you doing? How you doing, girl? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing, cutie pie? How you doing?
I'm sorry for everyone who looked up to you as an inspiration. I'm especially sorry for your fans. Pyro Pups deserve better. Oh man, she did not hold back on this at all. She popped the off. This is insane. I didn't expect it to be this this isn't even being vicious. It's just just being real,
Man, look at all those people responding to it. It's just wow. It's just boyfriend business. Look at all these. Look at all this. Look at all this. Even Fifi responded. Damn, just disappointed reading this. Shit. I know. Now Fifi is a VTuber I know, and oh my god, wow.
Real, Again, I read this whole thing. You guys watched me read it, and the whole time, I genuinely thought the whole time that there was a lot of holes to be poked in, and backtracking and saying, oh, I'm sorry, but like, it's kind of like, I'm sorry I got caught kind of deal, you know? Who did this, you fucking criminal?
Freaking Zappa, you manifested this. Oh my god. Okay, I really hate to end it on that cringy note. So yeah, but overall, oh my god, yeah, this is bad. Consider a complete word that rhymes with cunt. Let's just say I missed it. Somebody actually made this right here. Cinder playing the ukulele, and earlier Zappa, you brought it up, and so it's funny that somebody actually did it. All right, so I did say that we're gonna look at Shyly's video as well, and that's what we're gonna do. Um, so this one that we're gonna look at right now. So this right here is Shylily talking about the situation on her stream. But here's Shylily. Like I said, she did talk about this on her stream, and in this clip that we're gonna look at, we're gonna listen to her respond in her own words verbally. Okay. All right, let's listen to Shylily. We read her tweet, I know, but now we're gonna listen to what she has to say in her own voice, in her own words. Here we go. Oh, hold on, silence.
Address. There's two things I genuinely wish to address, not because, a lot of people were making it a big deal, but some people have brought it up in replies and stuff, and I'm like, you know what? Let me just explain. When everything went down, God, the Bao's cries are forever ringing in my head. That was so tough. I'm having a hard time being upset with anyone who still trusts and forgives her because, and I say this in all honesty, the reason it worked for so long is because her words are as sweet as butter, and chances are yours probably simply just as easily manipulated as everyone else. If you read all of these things and you see nothing wrong with it, give it a few years. The only night that was difficult was the first night after dropping the first doc. It was 10 a.m. I had to go to bed, and just being scared of what the heck a literal manipulator could possibly come up with overnight, and what a shit show you could possibly wake up to. It's literally just hearsay, the entire apology.
Wow. And she's basically saying she already anticipated what Cinder was going to say. Wow.
And worst of all, throughout this whole hearsay, it's full of bullshit. If yesterday was the first time you saw me crash out, which I'm pretty sure that is for every single person.
Wait, yesterday? So she did the stream the day after she uploaded that tweet. God damn.
Ever in this community. I'm sorry? Reading this made me more vulnerable to demonic possession. I highly suggest you check it out yourself. Everything that is publicly available is through receipts. Needlessly to say, more stuff has happened, but most of these things don't have receipts, or the receipts have personal, private stuff attached to it that you just can't share. Some of the stuff we might talk about today is hearsay because that's just my own experience that
Well, get to it, damn it! You're keeping the public waiting.
Happened in person. It's my word against whoever else wants to challenge it, and that's okay. The next couple days will just be people expressing the disappointment. It is typical narcissistic manipulation fashion. Like, this whole document... Like I said, if you don't see it that way, I don't blame you. Chances are you're too young and naive. You're just as gullible and easy to manipulate. If you don't see it, I fully get it. I don't support it. I hope you'll eventually see it. It's typical. I take accountability for nothing. I shove the blame over to my man. I knew nothing. Everything was behind my back. I'm so...
Man. Once again, Shylily is spitting out bullets. She is not holding back.
sorry you feel this way. Like... I'm sorry you feel this way. Like... Come on. It's just business fashion. When a company has an employee fuck up, guess what? The company has to take actions. The company has to pay damages and make amends for the employee. It's just business. You burn your Sinder merch. You do what you wanna do. If that's how you cope with this, that's also okay. You don't have to atone for someone's sins and feel.
Oh, I've seen that happen. You know, I've seen it happen when someone that people look up to fucks up badly. Fans tend to throw away or even burn their merchandise that they work so hard to get. I came across this one video of it was on Twitter. I think Dick Serto shared it. About a Doctor Disrespect fan who found out about his allegations. Took the wig and the vest that the fan used to cosplay and just immediately tossed it in the dumpster, you know? So it's the same scenario here. I mean, we got Cinder fans, we got Cinder fans who will no doubt be destroying or throwing away their merchandise.
Feel bad about the good times you've had. Whether they were fake or not doesn't matter. You had a good time. Again, if you cope by burning your merch, I ain't judging. You cope the way you wanna cope. I cope through memes and making fun of things. That also isn't fucking perfect. But if you have it in you and you can cope with it, try and donate everything you've got. Any shirt, sweater, figurine, plush, whatever the fuck it is, just donate it. I'm strongly anti-drama. I don't care for it. I'm usually not well informed. I'm not very chronically online either. I often wake up, go stream, go game, go bed. The thing with the no drama rule is, every time you have rules like this, there is a line that cannot be crossed. Because once that line is crossed, it's fair game. It's all fair game. And based on people's reaction, I don't think anyone blames me for getting involved and speaking up and strongly speaking about it. Once a certain line is crossed, it's fair fucking game. I don't give a shit what kind of rules or morals I've got. It's fair fucking game. Man, I do wish, I'm living at the goddamn ass crack of the world compared to all my friends. I really wish I could just have a short little flight over and be like, man,
I don't really watch Shylily that much, and I know a lot of people look up to her. Some VTubers even say that she's their inspiration. Is this the kind of person she is? Because, wow. She's just all over the place right now.
I'm sorry, Boober. Everyone is so sad. I don't want to make it sound like only Bao is sad, but Bao got stabbed real bad. Let me just address two things, because I know most people are caught up. Then I'll get you a TLDR. I know this hasn't been getting any traction whatsoever, but I've seen some, let's call them valid calls, where people go, if Lily knew all this, why didn't she speak up sooner? I'm not a fucking bitch. Everyone who's had—
Wait, what did she just say?
Let's call them valid calls, where people go, if Lily knew all this, why didn't she speak up sooner? I'm not a fucking bitch. Everyone who's had a long-lasting, healthy friendship knows that sometimes you lash out. I'm not gonna fucking cancel my fucking friends just because they called me a bitch, or in the heat of the moment and in great panic they threw me under the bus once. Sometimes when you're backed in the corner, scraping the bottom of the barrel, you cope by lashing out. You deflect. I'm not saying it's good, but it happens. I'm not gonna throw a fucking Google Docie out there just because I've been mildly done wrong once. You know? The actual starting point, the dominoes fell when one thing leaked. One singular thing. Like 5 or so days ago. It was—
Oh, okay, that's where it all started. Okay, so the whistleblower came out a few days ago. Okay. Continue, Shylily.
It was about me being slandered, throwing all kinds of accusations around to Nano, making me seem problematic. They were saying I dodged collabs with them. Collabs that had like 7 fucking other people in there. Collabs I was thrown into in a big ass group chat and simply said, sorry, can't do. Because I have something that day. One of them was a dentist thing. The day after the dentist, I just simply didn't fucking want to. And the other one, yeah, I dodged. Yeah, I did, because at that one, I already knew. The one person that is the reason for me dodging is the one concerned as to why I'm dodging. What about the 6 other people who were just looking at me dodging and going, oh, okay, she's busy? It's kind of weird that the only person that has a reason to be weary was actually weary. It's called projection. Cause she fucking knew. Anyways, I was accused of not acknowledging her when she rates. Oh, sorry. You know when Buff rated me earlier? I'm sorry for not calling Buff's full government fucking name. Buff Pop of Twitch.tv, thank you so much for your raid and bringing your community from Buff Pop from Twitch.tv over here. Now I get to say it. When she raided, she is center fucking stage. I am pausing my sponsor to talk to her. I'm having a normal ass reaction to a raid, like I have with everyone. Gotta get the full government name out there because apparently else people don't feel graced. Like, damn, I'm sorry. Oh yeah, them saying I've been weird ever since V-Card, which also isn't true. We've literally done a collab ever since. We've talked ever since. I contacted her for a technical issue that you guys said she also had ever since. Just a bunch of stuff that makes me...
Okay, I feel like at this point she's like dancing around the subject, you know, get to the juicy stuff, damn it!
sound weird and competitive when, again, reflecting. That one screenshot started it all. And I was like, that's fucked up. And I gave none.
There we go, that's what we're waiting for.
Started it all. And I was like, that's fucked up. And I gave Nano the receipts of it's not true. Somehow, before Nano worked on my 3.0 model, that wasn't a problem. Everyone who is in contact with me, anyone who is close, even my viewers, everyone knows I suck at Discord. And she knows that too, because it happened last year as well. It's why we have a group chat with her and Buska and me. So if she wants to plan something, she knows where to go. And she has used it in the past, recently. So anyways, yes, I am guilty of dodging a collab, because I simply didn't fucking feel like it. And yes, I am guilty of ghosting 2 messages where she asked for a collab, which, by the way, she also only does when there is something business related.
Yeah, at least she's admitting it. Thank you for your transparency, Shy. If only Sinder could do that.
AFK drop, V-card drop, any event, any debut, any announcement, any merch, then I'm important. Long story short, that was the one message that got everything rolling because I explained how that's weird, that's cringe and manipulative. If she has a problem, why not come to me? And boy, that's where it started. That's where poor Nano realized that there is more such incidents. She has critical thinking and she's like, if this is weird, are the others also weird? The ones where she literally, on the screenshots, says she feels bad for doing all these things she's being asked to do. And obviously, me being a friend, I talked to Nano and I was like, Nano, I'm gonna be honest, some of the stuff you have here is heartbreaking. I'm thankful for you showing this to me, but I highly encourage you to share this with the people affected, especially Bao, but because, you know, that one nasty one where she sabotages Bao. And Nano, the fucking giga chat she is, agreed a few days later because Bao had surgery. So it took a while. We made a group chat. Can you imagine?
Wait, surgery for what? Can somebody explain that to me? Because, wow, you know... Yeah.
That giga chat fucking whale comes out of surgery and has to deal with this. That group chat we used to expose everything. Not just, you know, from Nano's messages and having to deal with her manipulation, but we also came to realize that everything that happened to us individually those weren't isolated incidences. It was a year-long pattern. Everything connected. It was a pattern that consisted over years. And respect to my friends, we all decided after all of the receipts and obviously being very emotionally unstable to sleep over it for a night. Give it one night. Let's sleep over it. The next day, once everyone was awake and had time to deal with their emotions, we all still knew this has to happen. This isn't just to expose what she's done to us. This is to expose the fact that she is doing these things. Complete speculation. But if that's the stuff that happens in this circle, what else could happen? Again, speculation, but we were like, we would feel terrible knowing that she conducts business throughout the next couple years, hurting more people like this. Turns out it was just a bit bigger than our group, and we all knew she was gonna throw her manager under the bus. When you look at the screenshots and you know her and you see the manipulation, the first fucking thing you know is she'll throw her manager under the bus. Everything went live, and you know what she's done? The first thing they both did, they messaged Nano, going, Nano, please. You know what that absolute fucking Giga chat did? Blocked. We knew this was happening. Whatever. We've said our piece. There's no reason to continue to dogpile onto it. But then, the next evening, the quote-unquote apology dropped. But
Oof. So essentially, what Shylily is saying is that everybody saw it. She saw it coming a mile away. Everybody else saw it coming a mile away, and sure enough, her prediction was correct. Sinder released her apology. Confessed to nothing. Blamed her manager on everything. So it looks like Shy was prepared for this, and no wonder she was going harder with her response.
But it wasn't even an apology. It was, I'm sorry you feel this way. I'm sorry that happened to you. I'm sorry you got caught in this. I'm sorry I was manipulated into hurting you. Fuck of an apology, bro. And one thing that struck me specifically is when she dedicated a section to me and someone else. I am going to be super petty. Not even a section for myself. For someone that is so upset for me not naming her full fucking government Twitch.tv name, for someone to just put me in a document as Lily when previously referring to me as the other Gamer Subs owner. I don't even get a section for myself with my name properly fucking written. Come on, bro. Don't be such a hypocrite. You don't get to be upset at that shit and then put me there, throw me in there and be like, I'm so sorry, I had no knowledge of this. And that's when I got mad, because no knowledge my ass. A lot of what we know is hearsay. Because the girls spent time together. Vacation, travel, blah blah blah. A lot of the stuff that we posted about is only stuff we have hard-coded receipts for. But there is also more receipts! Verifiable receipts that weren't added to the doc, because either there are smaller things that just only really become a problem when added up, or they were a little too private to be shared. For her to claim she has no knowledge when I know for a fact she does, but I have no proof other than hearsay, it reminded me of that one fact, the one receipt we do have though, where she herself personally throws me under the bus, and I made sure to quote her own words, because again, that screenshot isn't public. She'll know what we're talking about. And the fact that she only took accountability for stuff that's been published and not the stuff that was kept hidden says enough for me. To have her use me as part of an excuse as to why she had to let her friend down, that very same friend that spent months of prep, hard work and effort and received a million empty promises, just because a couple days before that she wanted to reschedule a V-Card collab to, make a nice big boom as a collab and sell a bunch of boxes to make some bag. Imagine. For a fucking collab. Could have had the collab any other day too. Could have been a day or two earlier. Could have been a day or two later. She rescheduled that collab to be on that date. She put it there on that date. People saying, why didn't you handle this private? We did once. And she's only deflecting and pretending to be apologetic when put on the spot.
That's what I just said. That's what I've been saying. Throughout that apology doc, she was doing a lot of deflecting. A lot of it. Like at one point talking about her past and her upbringing, which is cool and all, but that has nothing to do with the current situation. And also, as Shylily said, she grouped her in a paragraph with someone else rather than apologizing to her as an individual. Probably because Sinder wanted to address the same thing that happened to both of them at the same time. But even so, the whole time, like, I got nothing out of that document. It's like I keep repeating myself. I got nothing out of that document. Like throughout that, when we were going through that Twitter post alongside Rochan in her video, it told me nothing. It told me absolutely nothing. By the end of it all, I was still questioning what the fuck did she do? I had to hear it from Shylily. I had to hear it from other content creators what she did. I didn't hear any of that from Sinder herself.
Proper apology from her before the crash out. None. She's only sorry when she gets caught, cause she knows fucking with that friend that she fucked with will mean the end of her career. Cause if you're not good standing with that person, you're not good standing with like probably 80% of the indies that matter to her. She wasn't sorry because she fucked over her friend's opportunity on a day that she said she'll be there. She was sorry she was caught in true narcissistic, selfish, egoistic fashion. Like, you ever do a collab again? What, with her? Fuck no, of course not. With others, of course. With my friends, of course. Obviously. Or let me just platform that very same person that tried to deplatform me and all of my friends that helped her get there to begin with.
Her argument is pretty valid, you know what I mean? Because as it sounds like, Cinder was doing this for quite some time. And Cinder really felt bad for her actions. She would have attempted to apologize like sooner. I mean, true, her friends would probably like disown her, probably never want to talk to her again. But at the very least, she would have had a chance to redeem herself. She would have had a chance to she would have had a chance to be the bigger person by owning up to it sooner rather than waiting till she got caught. And sure enough, someone blew the whistle. Everybody was all up in her ass, and Cinder apologized because she felt like she had to. Whether she genuinely feels bad or not is up for debate. But one thing is clear, Cinder apologized because she felt like she had to. And even then, it was like a non-apology because she took accountability for nothing. She took accountability for nothing and spent most of the time throwing her so-called boyfriend under the bus. Her manager under the bus. If they're still together, I'd be surprised because after this, at the very least, their relationship should be in shambles right now, Hell, if I was dating Cinder at this point, I'd probably consider leaving her because of this.
We just continue to platform that one person that tried to backstab us when begging to be in our positions. Throwing me and Game ourselves under the bus to save her ass? Fuck no. Oh, the pressure I feel. What pressure? The pressure you begged for? The pressure you told them you wanted to have? The responsibility you asked for? Where you wanted to be alongside me? Fuck no. You want a good apology for when you fuck up? You ever need an apology for when you actually fuck up? For when you are the bad bitch? Just say, I'm fucking sorry I acted this way. My greed has caused a lot of damage. Greed that got to me from growing too fast and being too filthy rich by riding on my friends' backs.
Once again, this hits close to home because I did bring up a certain VTuber earlier who I once was friends with, and she is growing wicked fast, okay? Really fast. She went from like 200 subscribers on YouTube to like 2,000 within the course of 6 months, which is really, really freaking impressive. But all that success has changed her, and not for the better. But you know what? I learned that. Here's what I learned: success and money does not change people. It brings out who they really are. And the fact that that's who she really is really shocks me because who she is now was not the same person I met all those months ago. And this is sad. This is really sad because the thing is, when you prioritize your growth over the people that help you get there, of course you're gonna practice double standards. Of course you're gonna make decisions that involves like screwing people over. Of course you're gonna like prioritize your growth, by essentially doing a whole bunch of collabs to get your exposure, rather than like collabing with people that you genuinely have connections with, that you genuinely have a vibe with. No, okay, no, just no, okay. And it seems like Cinder did just that. She collabed with people that will help her grow. And wow, the comparisons are minor, but my God, they're sort of there. But look, overall, what I'm trying to say is that you have to go in with the mentality. You go when you doing what I do, when you do what they do, you have to go in with the mentality that you have to remember your roots no matter what. Because the more you grind, the more you're gonna grow. But the issue is that when you grow too big, you forget to lose sight of your roots. You lose sight of the reason why you started doing this to begin with. And that's my biggest fear. I'm gonna get to that point. But I give him a word, everybody. I give him a word. that no matter how big I get, I will never forget my roots. All right? And my branches are yours to climb if you want to get to the top. For I will always support small VTubers, okay?
Instead of seeing how grateful I was supposed to be for it, I saw him as nothing but an asset. I've been truly blinded by how absolutely malicious, vile, and toxic I've treated them behind the scenes, pretending to be a friend while separating business and sabotaging them.
So Shylily just put in her own words what Sinder should have said. She put in her own. Shylily just summarized how Sinder should have taken accountability. That's how you take fucking accountability, okay? That's how you fucking do it. Sinder did not do any of that. She took accountability for nothing. She admitted to nothing. And therefore, I don't think, as I said before, it's debatable if Sinder genuinely feels bad, but as it currently stands, she does not. She does not. Okay?
I can never repair the damage I've caused. And I see now clearly what it truly means to lose everything that you were supposed to be grateful for. I'll take some time away and hope to better myself. I'll never be able to repair what I've broken, but I can try and come forward and be a better person in hopes to have learned from this absolutely awful thing that I've done to my most closest and most supportive, loving friends that are the sole reason I have this platform to begin with. Boom. Just owe up to it. Take some accountability. Just be like, yeah, I've been a dick. Yeah, I've been a fucking ass. Yeah, I've been blinded. So blinded by my success and money and greed for even more. The greed was unbearable. Yes, I'm terrible. Of course I wouldn't fucking believe her. What the fuck? Manipulator. But it's the only way to set things right and to maybe not be a fucking laughingstock for like the next half a year. Subscribe for business!
This is, oh my god, that. That's hilarious right there. That's like one last fuck you to Sinder right there. As my god, Shylily telling as it is. All right, so we heard Cinder's side of things. We heard Shylily's side of things. And unfortunately, Roach-san didn't go through the docs that Bao posted before Cinder's apology. At this point, there's really no point going through them because we pretty much heard everything we needed to hear. But after going through all that, here's my take on the situation. Okay, here are my final thoughts. Sinder went into this with a corporal mentality. Okay, she really wanted to grow, and she did just that. And all that success got the better of her. It brought out her true nature, which is somebody who just went into this with a corporate mentality, with the intention of just using others to grow, collaborating with big VTubers for the sake of her own growth, for the sake of her own success, being managed by her boyfriend, who she repeatedly screwed over during her so-called apology, and essentially, shit-talking her friends, saying that it's all for business. Like, saying it's all for business, that alone tells her mentality. That alone tells you what kind of person Sinder was, or Sinder is. And also, the fact that, she got caught, is the reason why she did that apology. So she apologized only because she had to. She felt like she had to. If she felt bad in the first place, she would have apologized to begin with. But she did not do that, okay? As Shylily pointed out, Sinder got caught, and now Sinder went straight to damage control. And throughout her apology, she took accountability for nothing. While Roach-chan was reading that apology, I got nothing from it. I learned nothing from it. I don't know. What she did exactly because she did not mention any of it. Okay, I had to hear it from Shylily herself, as you just heard. I had to hear it from Bao. I had to hear it from other VTubers. So it's kind of a fucked up situation, you know. The fact that I had to hear Cinder's actions from others and not from Cinder herself. Okay, and as it currently stands, she might survive. She might survive. Hell, there are other big creators who have survived even worse than this. So there's a good chance that Cinder might recover, but her career will never be the same. It will never be the same. She'll never see the amount of success that she once saw. At least not for a very long time. If she even has a hope of recovering from this. Who knows what she's gonna do from here on in? But one thing's for sure. One thing's for certain. Okay, Cinder does not feel any responsibility for her actions and has not taken any accountability. So her so-called apology is completely invalid, and she needs to do better. Okay, she needs to absolutely do better. Who knows where this is gonna go? Okay, but right now her career is in shambles. It's going down in flames, which is appropriate because her name is Cinder. Shylily did not hold back with her response. She was for real. She was the realest person out of everybody else. And wow. And while we were watching that stream clip, oh boy, oh my god, wow, just damn, just damn. You saw all those responses. Nobody was on her side. Nobody. They all saw right through her bullshit apology. Overall, yeah. Cinder fucked up big time.